Blood on a sabbat, pimps and pimpettes. This is Mr. Nasty, the Archbishop of the three-pronged assault. What that means is that if you put your hand up against Florida like this, you can see what areas I'm in charge of. I put the raw in terror and my dick into ridiculousness. I'm submitting my first general populist discussion of who the Regency candidates are and my take on them. We are the Sabbat, not some Camarilla elders bonding our children to us and stopping the information flow. Anyone who sends me a message is gonna get it answered right on here. Kane was right, 307 asked, who are the candidates? I'm glad you asked. Myself and Sergey Bay, people know. We are two different coins with the same goal. Destruction to any false Sabbat and victory over the antediluvians. Praise Kane. I don't personally get along with the Archbishop, but he tells a good sermon and leads a strong charge. He said he didn't want the position, which I actually think is kind of bullshit and shady. If you're running, be front up about it. Cardinal Lucida is a keeper of Madrid. Priska Monroe is that sexy Hollywood film star, you know, the vampire prince, and they are among you. That shit's classic. Sylvester de Ruiz is another keeper, but I haven't heard of him doing a damn thing. Cardinal Radu Bistri is a super pimp from Europe, super old-fashioned, but he's a knight like me. He's in it for the same reasons, to better us as a sword. He's been traveling around America making sure Canaanites know what he's all about. He doesn't like bullshit neither, which I respect. Vladimir Rustovich is known for killing werewolves. He's a straight-up warlord, which, you know, I love. Charles III of Mexico just got in the end, kinda has some douche requests, but whatever, he made it alright. Seems like he's a born ruler, but he doesn't really get the common folk, which I don't respect at all. I think that puts everybody there. That's two fiends of fury, a gangrel, and a shitload of powerful ass keepers. And moving on to Red's question. Francis Reddingfield asked a lot of great questions in a letter he sent me. I'm gonna break this shit down. This was to all of us. Brothers and sisters, members of the consistory have made statements that indicate you ought to be considered for the long vacant position region of the Sabbat. This is good news. Yeah, it is. As a public indication to the sword, there is forward momentum and has been accomplished in regards to this matter. That's true. However, in announcing this intent to the sect at large and taking more time prior to any election, the consistory has given pause when I believe we need the most action. While I agree we do need action, the reason why the consistory announced it is so you wouldn't just think they were sitting on their thumbs. All Sabbat will remain in support of the sex region, as all Sabbat will serve their leaders as long as those leaders follow the will of the region. Without this central source of leadership, there are fissures that form amongst us. That's true. I would ask you all to consider what direction you might give us true Sabbat. I'ma get to that. You know it. From time of removal of former traitor, I have seen calls for open crusade, cries to end the silence of the blood. That second one is from people who want to be attacked by hunters, but I'm all about that open crusade. And heard whispers of ancients awakening. Why do you think that is? I hear it's because they're waking the fuck up. As you are the considered, capital considered, what actions do you take now that you believe define you as a leader? Bam! What an excellent question. This is why I waited to answer the direction question. One of the three greatest qualities I have is that I can always give direction to my brothers and sisters, spiritually or physically. There is no time for boredom and plenty to get done. Send me a line if you're confused or bored. I'll sort you out. And that brings me to number 2. I will sort you. You think it's alright to interrupt right time? You may somehow decided randomly in your existence you're gonna kill another Canaanite? I won't put up with your bullshit. I'll wreck your face. I support the leadership. If you're a fuck up though, there's nowhere you can hide from me. Archbishop Quinn found that out when she sent a bunch of Canaanites in to die on the battlefield. Bishop Zeke learned when he decided to interrupt a Valdery and a bloodbath of an archbishop, waiting around it with a kiddie pool to show open disrespect was not okay. Third, but lastly, I will come kick down a door. I am not scared to do things that need to be done. If followers are set or corrupt in your local leadership, I will be more than happy to roll up and introduce them to what a pack looks like. Foot to ass, mushroom to face. In a regency position, that really kind of means that I already have done a lot of the things that need to get done, and I'm happy to influence that knowledge. Let's continue this up. Might you share the events that have occurred in the time frame which we've been without a sitting regent? Nope, too much information. But what I'll do is if you hit me up about any particular thing, I'll be happy to inform you whatever you want. It's not that I don't want to tell you, it's that there's no way I can upload all of that information all at once to some kind of a medium like this. And some of that's kind of dangerous if it gets out. So, you know what I mean. Just hit me up and I'll let you know whatever you want. What of the clergy? What of us? There are brothers and sisters of ours, truce about all, that crave a new cardinal of the West. What thoughts do you have on this and prior comments made to this correspondence? Well, I broke everything down, so the only thing I didn't say was about the cardinal of the West. If you know somebody, and like they want it, then just fucking say it. Like, don't be a bitch. This is not the group in which we just hang out waiting for shit to happen. Like, this is progress happens when you do things. A very wonderful and beautiful Prisk guy kindly dropped across all of our mediums very, very informative information on if you're interested in being the next Cardinal of the West. People are still trying to figure out how that last one died. I'm kind of curious myself. I might have to go down there and check it out. If we got his ashes, I'll tell you. I'll tell you in a moment. And it says, with regards, Francis Reddingfield. What a pimp. Lastly, Brother Venerio Caravello Nematorius asked a hotly debated topic. If appointed, would you restore the path of night to its proper place amongst the other approved paths of enlightenment? Firstly, if you haven't read it, go back and read his statement. And here comes the knowledge. Priscus Kettering, that is the one that was murdered outside of Monomacy, and not one of my bishops in Titusville, which is his child. The regent asked for a do-over on a sacred Monomacy because I had put a hold on it. And this is important. The individual whom challenged Kettering had been acting against the sword for a long period of time, had pretended to be a demon, had pretended to do a lot of stuff, and on top of that, sent several of his Canaanite brothers to die. Now, I thought he might be dominated, mind controlled, or something, because this is something this other dude had never done before. So I wanted to put a stop to things, because I didn't know if he was dominated as well, to challenge Priscus Kettering to Monomacy. We were all from the same school, we'd all learned the same thing. So when I asked for this individual, because he wasn't going to do it willingly, when I asked him, I said that he needed to be tortured till we could find out. And then we began the Monomacy if I found out this was all of his own volition and nobody just like fucked with his mind to make him do this. However, instead he ran. Long story short, we end up in front of the regent, right? And the regent said some very choice things and asked for a do-over. He said some very specific words like, I don't think that's how the right case should be done, and that's fine. He had a disagreement that I could stop the right take before it even began. Kettering showed the regent, as was his job, to uncover the plots of everything, the falsity of his own statements. The regent declared that his own pack should eat Kettering. And then when his own pack wouldn't do it, declared Kettering's false. I haven't seen Guillermo since then, so I don't know if he died there too, but that was a pimp bruja brew. Anyway, afterwards, I had a long debated talk with the Grand Manipulator, our former regent. And he told me some very interesting things. He told me of his master plan, that all Canaanites see each other as equals regardless of which enlightenment they chose. And he chose the path of night, not even out of convenience, not even out of what Kettering had requested of him, but because in his own words, they shouldn't care about what someone else says about them. I reflected on this, and like for a brief moment, it looked kind of deep, like, oh man, all Canaanites shown equal, there's a lot of people. I mean, enlightenment's a hard thing. Wassail is probable. But then, while I was in mid-thought, he said, I find sick, perverted pleasure in watching them squirm. I really feel like this isn't something I should lie about to you. I enjoy it. Man, that hit me hard. The regent removed the status of an entire clan's enlightenment, something that they brought with them to the sword, just to watch them wiggle in discomfort. I personally respect anybody who is able to reach enlightenment and not wassail. My keeper brothers are no different, so yes, I would return their status to them. It was kind of like a blasphemy situation in my head, like I didn't know what to do. But we all got together and we kicked that bitch out. So thank you all for your questions. I had a monomacy to deal with, so it took me a moment to get to these. Hopefully someone other than me and Cardinal B Street will answer all your questions. So if you have your own, drop a comment, send me a message, whatever you want. I'll answer it, you know, even if it was stupid or you think it was stupid. This is the only medium I could find which was simple for everybody to get involved. You know, blood, honor, sabbat, kill camis. What?